A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A plus English, 'cause it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A plus way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A plus English.
Hello everyone, welcome to A Plus English. I'm Mike.
I'm Chikling.
And you know what we're doing right now?
Talking.
Exactly. And can you hear us?
Yeah.
You can hear me and I can hear you, right? But sometimes in your life, you might find that you're talking and you're hearing, but you're the only person in the room. Now, you could be going crazy. That is possible, but not very likely, because everyone at different times will probably talk to themselves and have an inner voice. And our warm-up question is, how often do you talk to yourself? What do you say? Does this happen to you? And you're not crazy, I think.
I think I'm a little crazy,
Well, I
but
think we're all a little crazy.
I talk to myself sometimes.
Yeah, okay. Do you do it all the time when you're at home? Like, do you find you do it more when you're alone? Or is it something you'll even do when you're sort of with other people?
I feel like I do it quite a lot, especially when I'm working.
Okay.
Or when I'm trying to find something.
Are you being sort of your own advisor, your own sort of work partner? By saying, I should do this and I should do that, like to help you remember things.
Yes.
And give yourself motivation.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
To just remind myself of things that I have to do.
That's true. And of course, your inner voice, the way you talk to yourself, should, in a perfect world, be positive and helpful and, like a good friend, like a good coach. But sometimes your inner voice can be your own frenemy, your friendly enemy. And you can end up saying, criticizing yourself, calling yourself bad names when you make a mistake or do things wrong. And that's part of it. But that is also something, just like with your friends, if they're always saying bad things to you, that's not a really good friend. And in the same way, you can often not be your best friend by saying bad things to yourself as well. So there you go. All right, we're going to take a look at this very interesting topic. Right after this, we're going to get to the article.
The inner voice in your head. Warm-up question. How often do you talk to yourself? What do you say?
Where did I put the jacket? Oh, don't forget your umbrella.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, myself. I'm using my inner voice. I think I just said it out loud.
What's an inner voice?
It's the little voice in your mind. It helps people think and organize their thoughts and emotions like a conversation. Like in some comics, a little you tells you something. Each one shares a different idea.
All right, so here we have a situation. What's going on? Evelyn is looking for something and talking to herself in her room. Now, she could be doing it in her mind, but if she's like me, when my wife is away working, I often talk out loud to myself. But I'm not crazy because I have a cat.
Okay.
So I'm really talking to the cat.
Okay.
Yeah, because the cat understands. No, the cat doesn't understand. But it feels less crazy when there's an animal in the house or something like that. But anyways, Evelyn is in her room. She is all alone in there. There are no other people. We assume it's not ghosts. She's not talking to ghosts. So she's saying, where did I put the jacket? All right, so she's trying to help herself remember, where's that jacket? And then she also gives herself some advice. Don't forget your your umbrella. Ooh, I do that all the time. Don't forget your phone. Don't forget your MRT card. Don't forget your wallet. All that kind of stuff.
所以 Evelyn 是在跟G讲话，她说：“哎，我的外套放在哪里啦？啊，别忘记带伞。”在提醒自己。
Now, these, of course, are pretty normal thoughts, right, to have in your own mind, but to actually say them out loud, that might be a little strange, especially when you know you're not alone. That's where it can get a little confusing for other people when you're talking to someone, but not them and no one else. And that's what happens here. Ethan hears her and he comes into the room. He's thinking there's only two of us in here. And so he asks this very good question from Ethan's, point of view. Who are you talking to? Right? Because he was outside doing something. They weren't having a conversation. Suddenly she is having a conversation. Ethan's like, what is going on?
So Ethan's confused because it looks like, Evelyn is talking to someone, but no one else is there. It's kind of like, is she crazy or something?
Right. Or does she have a secret friend hiding in the room?
Imaginary friend. I think it's really normal because when you talk to yourself, you're probably just trying to organize something in your head.
Yeah, exactly. It's often a very good way of just keeping yourself on track, but it is often something you do in your own mind without actually making the noise of talking. And that's what confused Ethan. But Evelyn tells him kind of in a way, don't worry. She says, oh, myself. I'm talking to me or myself. She says, I'm using my inner voice, right? Her inner voice, that voice in her mind of herself talking to herself, but it got a little weird for Ethan, as she says, I think I just said it out loud. Normally, I would just keep it in my mind, but I actually said the words out loud. When we say out loud, we're saying in a way that other people can hear.
Yes, 所以这个 inner voice 就是你内心的声音。Evelyn 说啊，我在跟自己讲话，我是用我内心的声音，不过不小心说出来了。So basically, inner voices are just like our thoughts in our mind.
Yeah, right? Basically. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you being your own friend or you telling your own story. Yeah, so often those thoughts are in our mind, but sometimes especially when we're focused and concentrating on other stuff, or when we're used to spending more time alone, right, you might do that as well. So Ethan's a little confused by this. He knows what a voice is. You are hearing my voice. When you sing, you have a beautiful voice. The sound that comes from your mouth and your throat, that's your voice. But Ethan's never heard this thing called an inner voice. So he says, what's an inner voice?
内心的声音是什么? What is it?
That is kind of a strange thing. And Evelyn explains, it's the little voice in your mind. When we say little, we're not really saying it has a size because, of course, it's just your mind. But it's that kind of quiet voice in your mind, the one that you don't normally hear or say out loud. But sometimes you do, like Evelyn did there. And what is this inner voice useful for? She says, it helps people think and organize their thoughts and emotions like a conversation, like you're talking to a good friend, except that good friend is you. And that is kind of confusing.
对，所以其实 inner voice 就是你脑海里的小声音。我们刚刚有讲到，它会帮助你整理想法跟情绪，就有点像是对话。But here is a fun fact that I learned.
I like fun facts.
Yeah, so studies show that people who talk to themselves this way, like if you talk to yourself, this can
With your inner voice?
This can improve your memory and problem-solving skills.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if next time you're looking for something, you can just, don't be embarrassed if you talk to yourself. But I don't think you will. Like, I think you feel normal.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it actually will help you find what you were looking for faster.
Okay. I mean, often there's important things to remember, and you think of it, but then if you don't do something with that idea, with that memory, it can often just float away.
Yes.
So, a great thing would be to write it down. I think that helps you remember things. But if you just keep saying it to yourself. I mean, I often do this when I walk into the supermarket. Carrots, milk, yogurt, bread, carrots, milk. And I'm not saying it out loud. That would be good. Walk around the supermarket. Carrots, milk, yogurt, bread. People will stay far away from me. But if you say it in your own mind, the idea is, and as you said, it's apparently a fact, it will help you remember things. Now, back in the article, Evelyn is explaining this a little bit more. She says, like in some comics, a little you tells you something. Each one shares a different idea. So there's all these little Evelyns or these little Chicalins or these little Mikes. And we're all in our head like, hey, don't forget this. Hey, you should do that. That kind of idea.
所以呢 Evelyn compares her inner voice to a comic where little versions of herself argue and plan. It's really fun, I think. It's cute. It's just cute by thinking about it. So imagining your thoughts as different characters or mini versions of yourself can help you organize your ideas and feel like you're in control of the situation. I actually do that all the time.
That is very, very cool. I guess it would get weird if you gave different names to these different voices.
Yeah, I know.
You know, like Bob is telling me to don't forget to buy bread, but Mark is telling me that I have to call the dentist tomorrow or something. Like,
Oh my
who are you
goodness.
talking? Oh, my little inner voices. No, it's all you, of course.
Right.
Yes.
Like when you're reading a comic book, you like graphic novels, like the graphics help you understand. Like you see what they're doing
those little clouds or those little bubbles.
就是那个对话框，有没有让你觉得说，哎，我比较清楚说这个故事是在讲什么？
But I see images in my mind when I'm thinking.
That's just a different way of organizing thoughts. Sometimes I can hear other people's voices, like yours.
You hear my voice in your head? You're so weird.
Don't be angry. He's your brother.
I know what you're thinking. We're twins.
All right, now this kind of makes sense to Ethan, but it's also kind of a different way of thinking about things. And it seems for Ethan, it's actually a little bit different in his mind. His thoughts and ideas, they take a different form in his brain. He says, but I see images in my mind when I'm thinking.
Oh.
Interesting. So he's not talking, he's not using words and having a conversation. He's seeing images or pictures in his mind. That's just the way his mind and he tries to organize stuff. A little bit different than Evelyn. And Evelyn says that's just a different way of organizing thoughts, right? It's kind of like a personal style or whatever works for you. There's no right or there's no wrong. As long as you're able to sort of carry on your life and remember things and have this little voice or these pictures or whatever it is that's helping you stay on track, that's okay.
但是 Ethan 说他在想事情的时候，脑海里面出现的是画面，但是 Evelyn 觉得每个人的整理方式不一样嘛。Everyone has their own unique way of thinking. So some could probably hear their thoughts as a voice, but while others visualize images or they rely on emotions. Like me, I think I mostly rely on emotions.
Okay.
And I think I'm very good at like visualizing what I want.
Interesting.
对，是视觉化图像 So you can train your brain to actually to see the image that you want.
Right, yeah. When I'm, for example, if I was trying to remember what to buy at the store, I might use words like I'm making a list in my brain, right? But if I was trying to remember, okay, if I'm trying to remember where something is, I would never say, oh, it's across from the 7-Eleven next to the bookstore. I would have an image of that store in my brain, more like, you know, Google Maps or something.
Yes.
So that would be more images, but information and things, that would probably be more words. All right, back to our article. Evelyn says, sometimes I can hear other people's voices like yours. Interesting. So sometimes it's not just Evelyn, a little Evelyn in her brain. It's a little Ethan in her brain. That's strange. But I guess if you're thinking about what another person said to you, that would make sense.
Yeah, I know, because sometimes my mom's voice popped. I kind of zoned out because I was picturing my mom's voice in my head.
Okay. What is she saying? Brush your teeth.
Yeah, something like that. Or
Go to bed. Don't go to bed late.
Yeah, something like that. Something. It's like layers, wear more. It's
Okay.
it's cold
Dress
outside.
warm, it's cold outside.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's so cute. It's all the words that mom
Don't
would
forget
say.
to eat your vegetables.
Yes, yes. So I think it's cute. It's cute. I like it.
All right. Well, this is very interesting information for Ethan, and he's a little worried about his sister. He says, "You hear my voice in your head? You're so weird. So clearly this is not something that happens to Ethan. He's not walking around with a little Evelyn in his head. So he thinks it's weird, it's strange. Of course, when you're talking to your friends or family, people you know well, calling them weird is not a bad thing. But you don't really want to say that to people you don't know. Because it could come across as kind of an insult. But with a good friend, you're so weird. Oh my God. That kind of thing. That's okay. So Evelyn looks angry and she's a little annoyed at Ethan, but then her little voice in her brain, which she doesn't say out loud, goes, don't be angry. He's your brother. He's Ethan. He's kind of an... Anyways, that's okay.
Evelyn 就说不可以，不要生气，因为他是你的哥哥，你不可以生气。他的内心的声音又在作祟了。
Right, but I guess since they know each other so well, and maybe because her inner voice shows on her face just a little bit, Ethan goes, I know what you're thinking. We're twins. And yes, maybe if it's a very close relative, brother and sister, or maybe just a really good friend, it could be that you kind of know what their inner voice is saying to them, even if you can't hear it.
那我们赶快来看一下今天所有的单字吧。我们今天第一个单字是 thought， 它就是想法或思想的意思。你可以去表达一个想法，就是 express a thought。比如说 she took a moment to gather her thoughts before responding。那我们再看今天另外一个例句，这边也是想法念头的意思。Mary is not happy and often has thoughts about running away from home. Mary 不快乐，她常常会有想逃家的念头。那我们讲到 emotion， 它就是情绪。我们常常讲到情绪翻涌，可以说 a surge of emotion。比如说 she felt a surge of emotion as she watched her child graduate。她看到她的孩子毕业，就觉得哇，好感动哦，这种感觉。我们看另外一个句子。The movie made me scared, happy, and sad. It really touched my emotions. 这个电影让我感到害怕、快乐又悲伤，着实牵动了我的情绪。那我们讲到这个 comic， 它就是漫画。我们可以读漫画书嘛？比如说 he spent the afternoon reading his favorite superhero comic。那所以漫画书就是 comic book。那我们再看另外一个句子。I love reading this comic. The story is great and the pictures are funny. 我喜欢看这一本漫画，它的故事蛮不错的，图也很搞笑。那我们刚刚讲到这个，在图上画，你在头脑里面会出现 image， 它就是一个脑中的画面，你可以去创造一个图像 ，you can create an image. The artist used bright colors to create a vivid image of the sunset. 那我们再看另外一个句子哦。Thinking about the beach gave me images of sun and waves in my head. 一想到海滩呢，我的脑中就浮现了太阳跟海浪的画面。好，这是今天所有的单字。Don't forget to practice how to use them. Right now, let's go to our review time activity.
Review time.
All right, my little voice or my inner voice is telling me we got to get out of here because we're running out of time. We got to get out of here. We're running out of time. You see? Did you hear that?
Your little mic, I heard it.
Yeah, you heard it. So we're going to go through this nice and quick. We had 4 new words for today. Remember what they were? I do. Thought, emotion, comic, and image. That was my inner voice again.
Okay.
Gotta give time for my inner voice.
Okay.
He's got a lot to say.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to do a quick game of synonyms. That is words that mean basically the same thing, like little and small or something like that. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Feeling.
Feeling is that's your emotion.
Picture.
Picture, image.
Cartoon.
Comic.
Idea.
Thought.
There you go.
Oh, my inner voice was acting quick.
Yeah, well, we heard all that. Were you just thinking all that?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
at the
we
same
heard it
time.
all.
Oh, okay, okay.
Phew, I'm glad that's all we heard. That could have gotten really embarrassing.
True.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us. And
OK， 如果喜欢今天的内容
Yes.
记得按赞、订阅、开启小铃铛。
Yeah.
OK，
All right.
就不会错过任何精彩的内容啦。
Sorry, were you talking? My inner voice is telling me we're going to be back to see you tomorrow
Yes.
with more on this interesting topic. Bye.
Bye.